Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I'm your host, Johanna Dahlman. I am just getting back from the conference, from the biohacking conference. There was a lot of delays with flights and things of this nature, but all in all, it was a fantastic conference. I spoke to a packed house, and it was such a wonderful opportunity to meet people, but then also meet followers who were there. And it was great to see them and to put a name with a face. So thank you, everyone who showed up. Thank you for coming up to me and for saying hi, because I love meeting people in person. I love putting names with faces, and I love to get to know each person individually. All of you are so important. All of you have such a remarkable story. And I know all of you can see hair growth once you start taking that action. Today's podcast, we are going to be talking to Marlene. Marlene and I have been speaking about manifesting money and manifesting other aspects of her life. And she has lots to say as a nurse with more than 15 years of practice, that she used to be a nurse. Now, she's actually doing this. And so she has a lot of insight into the healthcare practice, but then also into manifesting. So I can't wait for you to listen to that conversation. And outside of that, I just got an email yesterday from a client who's only 4 weeks into the program. She's out of India. So kudos to you for seeing hair growth already. Thank you for your email. And I look forward to speaking to everybody on the group coaching call tomorrow. Thanks so much, everybody. And here is that conversation with Marlene. Hi, Marlene. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So we are supposed to be talking about manifesting. Is this correct?
Yes.
Excellent. So what are some of the starting points or tips that you would recommend to our listeners?
Well, doing the inner work is the number one thing. The thing that led me into learning how to manifest is finding a way to create more money and success in my life. The one thing that really made the biggest difference was working on my mindset. I noticed that a lot of my thoughts were very negative when it came to money, when it came to certain situations. So learning that my mind and our inner world create our outer world is what led me to dive deeper into rewiring how I was thinking in order to manifest outward in a way that was more of what I was looking for. So a lot of the work that I do is rewiring the subconscious mind. I am certified as a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, which is called NLP. And when I work with clients, we work with the mindset. We work with rewiring the subconscious mind to align your mind and body, which is your emotions, to the thing that you're manifesting. So like I said, the process is the same when you're manifesting money and when you're manifesting health or when you're manifesting anything you want. It's aligning your thoughts with your emotions for it to manifest.
Okay, so let's say it's safe to say that everyone could use more money. Everyone can around the world, right? I think that's safe to say. So what would be some first steps on manifesting money in order to, let's say, get the healthcare that you need or get the next steps in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve? Because money is one of those energetic situations that it provides for you, and it's an exchange, but it also allows you to, upgrade yourself and to do more self-care and to acquire the things that you want to acquire to better yourself in general.
I mean, the first thing that I would recommend, which I recommend to clients, is becoming aware of your money story. So what is it the relationship that you have with money? Because that's what's being reflected out. So usually when people are struggling with finances, is because they don't have the right relationship with money. It's either they have limited programming that they think it's hard to make money, or they have all these limited beliefs. So becoming aware of those beliefs is the first step, because awareness is the first step. And then once you're aware of what story you're telling yourself, what limited beliefs are coming up for you, then you can rewire those to align to the abundance that you're manifesting. And all that is subconscious work. because our mind is programmed as when we were children. So from the age of 0 to 7, our subconscious mind is being programmed. So whatever beliefs your parents had, anybody that was a major influence when you were a child, those beliefs are instilled into you. So once you turn around 7 or 8, those just turn on and you're just repeating the same cycles over and over again till you become aware of them and change it. So awareness is definitely the first step when it comes to rewiring your mindset, when it comes to anything that you're manifesting.
Wow. Okay. So could you give us a ballpark, maybe not literal figures, but because of your situation of how you manifested money when you're in a divorce, I'm assuming you're heartbroken. It's a tough time. You're trying to kind of like put the puzzle pieces together in terms of, you came together with your former husband and then now you're coming apart. And so what that I can only imagine, right, of those emotional roller coasters,
Right.
and then maybe any legal situation, right, that could get sticky or not. But then there's money, of course, moving out, new apartment, new anything. There's always money involved in a divorce or in a marriage, either way. So how was it that within the murkiness, within the unknown of a situation, within all these moving parts and potentially added stress, right? How did you be able to manifest how much money?
Well, I've manifested over, I will say $5,000. I have the most money that I've ever had my whole life, but the biggest manifestation was almost $300,000 after my divorce. But the way that I managed rewiring my subconscious mind, going through all those challenges, is creating a habit where I was focusing on rewiring my subconscious mind every single day. So for me, it started with repeating affirmations. So when I learned about that I could manifest, I still didn't know like the ins and outs of it, but I knew that in order for me to rewire my subconscious mind to manifest what I wanted was repeating positive affirmations. So when I was becoming aware that I had a lot of limited beliefs around money, I would rewrite it in a way that was positive for myself and just repeat it over and over and over again. So for the first year that I was manifesting and was learning this process, I would like put earbuds in my ear, like even when I was at work, and I would just repeat the affirmations over and over and over again. Even then, like I still didn't fully believe it from an embodiment standpoint. But I knew in order for me to be able to rewire my mindset, I had to repeat them over and over. So that was my method of learning how to do that. So even when I was going through challenges and things would come up because I was still going through a lot of emotional turmoil, I would always come back to that. And if it was like creating a morning routine for myself where I was reading books, I was listening to podcasts, I was doing the things that was helping me remind myself that I am powerful and that I can create my reality. That's what helped me slowly start getting out of that hole that I was in. When I started noticing things changing around me, it really gave me the confidence that it was working. So one of the things that I was doing that really started boosting my trust in this process was manifesting little things. So I would manifest like a free cup of coffee. I would manifest gift cards. I would manifest little things. And when they would manifest, I would get excited. I'm like, this works. So that built my trust. And through that, it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger when I was starting manifesting like a few $1,000s, or I was in a situation where I couldn't pay my mortgage and I manifested that. So it's just like things like that I was doing for myself that just built the trust that I can manifest my reality and just doing the inner work.
So what do you define as the inner work?
The inner work is rewiring your subconscious mind. That is rewiring the program. The way that I explain it is like our mind is like a computer. It's programmed to do a job, and it's going to be doing that job till it's reprogrammed again. So if you're struggling with health, if you're struggling with money, if you're struggling with relationships, you have a program that's manifesting that for you. So if you want to change that, you have to become aware of the beliefs that you have, the stories that you're telling yourself, and change it to where it aligns to what you're manifesting. So when I say doing the inner work, is going inward, because everything that we think, that we feel, is what's being manifested outward. So our reality is just a reflection of our inner world. So it's of your thoughts, of, your emotions. And when you have a strong emotion to a certain thought, that just gives it power to manifest. So if that thought is not something that you want, but it's just because we're so conditioned to always worry, we're so conditioned to always fear certain situations, you're just giving it more power for it to manifest. So the same situations keep manifesting in your life, even though you're not aware of it, because you're constantly worrying about it. You're constantly fearing that that's going to happen. And because you're giving it so much energy, it just ends up manifesting. So if you don't change that, it's like when people manifest the same type of problems and relationships just with different people, it's because they just keep repeating that same cycle until they stop, realize what they're doing, align themselves, rewire how they're thinking, the story that they're telling themselves, and then start manifesting differently.
What are some of the things that's possible to manifest, or is everything possible?
Oh, everything's possible. As long as you truly desire it and believe in it, you can manifest anything you want. So when you, like, a lot of the stuff that I talk about, like in my content and in my podcast, is just like manifesting your dream life. Your dream life looks very different from my dream life. So it's just like your full desire that you're 100% behind what you want and you believe that you can actually achieve it is what's going to get you the results, because that's all you need. And when you can 100% get behind that belief, you will manifest it.
So you got to believe before you see the results.
Oh, yes.
Right?
And that's the biggest block that I see a lot of with my clients, because they've lived a life where they seen otherwise of what the results of what they want. When they come to work with me and they're like, well, I've seen, this is what they call my facts, like your facts is what you've been manifesting for so long because that's the program you have. But in order to get what you want, you have to truly believe it first that it's possible for you. And then it's, like I said, the inner world reflects your outer world. And when that shift happens within you, that's when you start seeing it in your reality.
That's so well said. I say that a lot myself, that you have to believe that you can heal.
Yes.
My listeners are going through hair loss. It's something that I've gone through myself. And so in this case, a lot of times people come to me and they're jaded, right? They've tried it all: lotions, potions, serums, injections, doctors, dermatologists, trichologists, naturopaths. I mean, they've tried it all. And they're like, what does this girl know that I don't know? What is she doing that she's able not only to heal herself, but others as well with different types of hair loss? It took me 4 years, but I have to say, every minute of every day, I believed that it was possible. Granted, I failed many times, but I got up again and I tried again and I got up and I tried again and I was pushed back down. And, it was a roller coaster of emotions. And so that's who I help, is people going through hair loss. And yes, they join the program, but with some of them, I still see like there's this like, I don't believe, show me. You got to do the work. You got to believe. Right. That's part of it, right? You got to believe it. And then, of course, in the program, I give you all the action steps. So taking action is part of creating your own reality, but then it's also weathering the storm. So there's always going to be storms. There's always going to be setbacks. Life happens, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, it's just like we can always push through, and we need to muster the strength, like find that inner strength to like just power through it so that everything can come to fruition.
Yeah. And when you've been going through so much challenges, like when you've been going, like, with your clients that have been experiencing hair loss for so long, that's their reality and that's the belief that they have. So in order to shift that, it becomes a little difficult for them because that's all they know. So it's like you said, like doing the inner work and actually believing that it's possible. It's what's going to push you forward to keep going and keep doing it. Eventually, it's going to come to a point where you truly believe and you can embody that belief. And it's when you start seeing results. A lot of those are just conditionings that we have, that the subconscious mind has because of the same programming that has been running for so long. But when you use tools like NLP, when you use tools like hypnosis and things that help you rewire your subconscious mind, it helps you embody that new belief so much faster, which gives you faster results. But it's all about doing the inner work, actually wanting to see the results and believing that it's possible for you. That's going to keep you pushing through the challenges that are going to come up, because it's not going to happen overnight. This is a journey that we're on when it comes to creating change in our lives, whatever the situation is. It's changing your finances, changing your relationships, changing the fact that you've been experiencing hair loss for so long, but it's those little steps that you're taking forward that's going to create the change that is going to be lasting. But just like you can manifest a cup of coffee, you can manifest $100,000. The process is exactly the same. All you need to do is to get behind your desire 100%. And that's where it becomes difficult for people, because it's easier to believe that you can manifest a cup of coffee than it's easier to believe that you can manifest $100,000. But the process is exactly the same. It's just getting behind it 100%. And how manifestations come into fruition is just depending on the action that you're taking and becoming aware of the opportunities that are being presented to you. When we're taking action and it's something that it's unknown, we do tend to have fear come up. So it's learning and trusting ourselves that we are taking the right action in order for us to be able to create the change that we want. Because if change was easy, everybody would do it. But because we're so comfortable, and even when we're miserable, is why so many people tend to stay in relationships that, are not serving them, because they're in their own misery. In order for them to be able to manifest and attract the relationship they want, they have to be able to let go of what they're holding on to. So that comes to with anything that you're manifesting, learning to let go and take action even when it feels scary. I don't know if you ever heard a book called Feel the Fear But Do It Anyway. It's something that I teach too, because when we're taking action, when we're doing different things, we do have that fear that comes up. But when we want something so, badly, and we want to create change, we have to stand behind our belief that we can actually do this and take the opportunities that are being presented to us, even when they feel scary. That's where, the catalyst will begin for you, because the fact that you're now taking different type of action. So now you're manifesting differently. Like I said earlier, it's the process to creating change when it comes to hair loss is exactly the same when it comes to manifesting a baby. Even when you you feel like the odds are against you, is that spark within you, that desire within you, that's going to keep you going and actually believing it. Because that's like the key factor in anything, is believing that it's possible, regardless what your circumstances is showing you. What your circumstances is showing you is just a manifestation of your past thoughts. And for so long, you have been believing that it's not possible because of what doctors said, because of what you read on Google, because what you've been experiencing. So those same thoughts just keep creating the same circumstances, which is what you're experiencing now. So in order to change that reality that you're experiencing, is fully standing behind that belief that it's possible for you. And regardless what you're being shown, 100% stand behind that and believe it and keep taking action in a way that you know that it's going to come into fruition for you. Regardless what you're seeing, regardless of what you're experiencing, you know that because you desire it and you believe it, it's going to happen for you. For me, it was like creating a morning routine that would remind me every single day, and it will inspire me to continue doing the work, even though I was experiencing so much challenges, even though there was lack of money in my life and I wasn't able to pay my bills. But I knew that my circumstances would change, and I knew something would happen that would allow me to start experiencing the reality I wanted. So I kept doing the inner work. And that's something that I do recommend, like my clients, when they come in to work with me and want to change the reality that they're experiencing, is like every single day, do something that you're working on your mindset, you're working on your energy, you're working on things that remind you that your desires are possible. And it's only a matter of time, regardless what your circumstances is showing you, that it's going to manifest for you. So when it comes to manifesting a baby, the process is exactly the same. Even though I was in the medical field for 14 years before I came into this work. So even though the medical field is good for a lot of things, especially when it comes to emergencies, traumas, and stuff like that, the medical field is not designed to cure the root cause of any type of problem. They're only treating the symptoms of things. So when you go to a doctor and a doctor tells you that is not possible because, of course, they only treat the symptom, they're not treating the root cause, that can be very detrimental to somebody's health because they start believing that it's not possible because somebody in a white coat told them. And that's just a belief that they're taking on as their own truth. So now they're manifesting that. Even though I do agree on a lot of things that the medical system does provide for us when it comes to certain things, but I do believe that there has to be a lot of change within that. And I feel that's coming in the future. I do truly believe that. But we shouldn't take anybody else's opinion as our own truth. When somebody tells us that it's not possible, that's because that's their belief, because of what they've been experiencing. But if we choose to believe differently, then other opportunities start showing up for us because we're choosing to believe differently. So maybe looking at holistic type of doctors, people that are actually working from the inside out to help you manifest what you truly desire. But I would never take somebody else's opinion as my own truth just because they have the authority that society says that they have just because they're wearing a white coat.
Anything that you would love to share with our listeners in regards to manifesting and maybe getting over the hump of the belief that it is possible because they were jaded, because they've tried so many other things that, in my opinion, were probably gimmicks for their hair loss or for any other health condition that they may have, or even with money, because with manifestation, that's also a big scope. It's very wide. And so depending on where you go, which book you're reading or which coach you're working with, this can also look very different. And so how do you clear the weeds so that you can see through the fog?
Yeah, I mean, one of my biggest mentors that made a big difference in my own journey was, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza.
I knew you were going to say him. I knew it. Yes, I
Yes.
do know. Yes, I'm signing up for a retreat. And yes, I'm about
Yes.
to purchase his module 1. It's program 1 and 2 online. Before you even said it, I knew it. It's incredible.
Yeah, his work is phenomenal. I feel like with the type of clients that you work with, I feel like that would be a good start for them to really start looking at that possibilities from a different perspective. Because like you said, for so long, we've just been jaded and believing a certain belief that we took on as our own truth, but not necessarily that's somebody, just one person's perspective, And when you start learning about how people have healed themselves, how people have done the work in order to create different results in their lives, that would start giving you the belief and really give you the confidence to look at different possibilities that would help you start creating different results. Dr. Joe Dispenza, especially because he comes from, doing the meditation and the subconscious work and all the things that show you. And he has I don't even know how many testimonials of people that have created change in their lives because of the work that they do. And it's all work that they, going within. And it's where it starts. Just like I said earlier, your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world.
Any last thoughts? Anything that you'd like to share? This has been fabulous.
I mean, I just want to say, even through my own story, I was in the same shoes, maybe from a different perspective, and in different form, but I went through my own challenges that I thought, at first wasn't even possible for me to even create. And the fact that I've manifested so much in my life by just doing this work just shows and proves that it's definitely possible to create the change that you want in your life. And if it wasn't because a friend recommended a book to read, and it was called The Return to Love by Marianne Williamson.
Yes, I've read that.
Yeah, I love that book. That book is what made me really start seeing things differently. And I dove into personal development that helped me really start changing the perspective and how I perceive my own challenges. And that's what's gotten me to the point where I'm at now, that I've been able to manifest so much success in my life just by taking those steps and believing that it is possible. But yeah, this work will definitely change your life. And I am just so passionate. And that's why I sit here and talk about it forever, just because it's made such a huge difference in my own life and in my clients. I want everybody to experience this because we are truly powerful. We truly can create the reality we want. We just have to believe that we can.
Yeah, that's, I always say that's the first step, is believing that it's possible for you. This has been so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge and for even sharing your own personal experience. When you feel your life is stacking against you, this is also very hard, and it can break you down. But what I do believe is that when you feel that it breaks you down, you're going to be like a phoenix and rise through the ashes and just be even bigger and better and stronger and wiser and just like more badass.
Yes. I mean, it was a pleasure being here, and I'm so glad that I was able to come on your podcast and speak to you and speak to your client and to your audience. And yeah, I mean, this work is definitely something that would truly change your life if you decide to dive deeper into it and really explore what the possibilities are.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this, and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.